What if the reason some of your friendships are fading has nothing to do with distance? Many people believe that strong friendships can survive anything. Different cities, different countries, busy schedules. And sometimes that's true. But if you've ever looked at your phone and realized you haven't spoken to a close friend in 6 months, you know something uncomfortable. Distance itself is not usually what ends a friendship. The real problem is what distance quietly changes over time. Think about someone who used to be a big part of your life. Maybe you talked every day at school, at work, or during a certain period of your life. You knew what was happening in their world. They knew what was happening in yours. Then one of you moved away. At first, nothing seemed different. You promised to stay in touch. You sent messages. You had long phone calls. But little by little, things changed. This matters because friendships are not just nice extras in life. They give us support, laughter, and a feeling that we are understood. Losing a friendship can feel surprisingly painful. Sometimes it hurts almost as much as the end of a romantic relationship. Yet many friendships don't end with an argument or a dramatic goodbye. They simply become quieter until one day they are gone. The first reason long-distance friendships slowly die is that shared experiences disappear. When you see someone regularly, you naturally collect small moments together. You complain about the same teacher. You laugh about the same coworker. You notice the same changes around you. These tiny experiences create connection. Imagine two friends who worked together for years. Every lunch break, they shared stories and jokes. Then one friend moved to another city. At first, they still talked often. But after a few months, they no longer had the same daily experiences. One friend talked about a new office. The other talked about different people and different problems. There was nothing wrong between them. They simply stopped living inside the same story. Friendships often grow through ordinary moments, not special events. And when those ordinary moments disappear, the connection can become weaker without either person noticing. The second reason is that communication becomes intentional instead of automatic. When a friend lives nearby, staying connected requires very little effort. You meet for coffee. You send a quick message. You run into each other unexpectedly. Long-distance friendships work differently. Every conversation requires a decision. Someone has to send the first message. Someone has to schedule the call. Someone has to make time. At first, both people usually make that effort. But life becomes busy. Work gets stressful. Family responsibilities grow. Days become weeks, and weeks become months. I once heard someone describe friendship as a plant. When it's nearby, it gets water almost every day. When it's far away, you have to remember to water it yourself. The friendship may still be alive, but it needs attention. If both people forget for too long, it slowly dries out. What's interesting is that most friendships don't end because people stop caring. They end because people assume there will always be time later. The third reason is that people continue growing, even when they are apart. We often imagine our friends staying exactly the same. But nobody stays the same forever. Your interests change. Your goals change. Your daily routines change. The person you were 5 years ago is not the same person you are today. Let's say two close friends graduate from university. One moves abroad and starts a demanding career. The other stays in their hometown and starts a family. Neither choice is better than the other. But their lives begin moving in different directions. When they finally speak after several months, they may discover something surprising. They still care about each other, but they no longer understand each other's world as easily as before. This can create an awkward feeling. Conversations become harder. There are more updates and fewer natural discussions. Instead of sharing a life together, they are reporting on separate lives. Again, this doesn't mean anyone did something wrong. It simply means that growth can sometimes create distance that geography alone cannot explain. So what can you do if you want to keep an important friendship alive? Try this simple habit. Don't wait until you have something important to say. Many people only contact distant friends when there is big news. A new job. A birthday. A major life event. But strong friendships are usually built on small moments. Send a photo of something that made you laugh. Share a short story from your day. Ask a simple question. It doesn't need to be a deep conversation every time. The goal is not to communicate perfectly. The goal is to stay present in each other's lives. A 2-minute voice message today can be more powerful than a 2-hour catch-up call once every year. And here's something else worth remembering. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some friendships belong to a certain chapter of life. That doesn't make them failures. It just means they served an important purpose when you needed them. But if there is someone you truly value, someone whose friendship has made your life better, don't assume they already know that. Reach out. Send the message. Make the call. Because friendships rarely disappear all at once. They fade one missed conversation at a time. And the good news is that connection can return in the same way. One message. One conversation. One small effort at a time. Maybe there's someone in your mind right now as you're listening. If there is, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is usually the one you create yourself.